Steve, you have like a gazillion championships, but in this moment, how does 10-10 feel?
It's all relative. It feels great. To go from 3-7 to 7-3 in our next 10, that's a good sign. We're trending upward, and starting to feel more. Everything's starting to feel more settled, and guys are finding roles and doing a good job. Now we got to take it on the road.
Steve, along those lines of things feeling settled, I mean, 6 out of the last 7 games, you guys have had more than 30 assists. Is that just a sign of ball movement and making the extra pass and pushing it?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is Klay's patience. When Klay is really patient and coming off screens and moving it when he's not open, then the dominoes start to fall, and the ball really starts to hum. So, yeah, it's been fun to watch.
It was a really tight game, like late third, and then he hit 4 threes in the last 3 minutes. How important was that little stretch from him?
Yeah, I thought that stretch was the key to the game, and then I think Jordan also coming alive in that second half, knocking down those 2 jumpers to start the fourth quarter, giving us a cushion. That was a key stretch. So I loved Klay's game tonight. I think he was like 1 for 5 in the first half, but never chased anything bad. Just stayed patient and hit those big shots after we had lost the lead.
You've used the word patient with Klay a couple of times now, and how nice it is to see him start off slow like that and come into form and kind of let the game come to him and really get going in the second half, especially that third quarter.
Yeah, that's really key for us. When he is just playing under control and taking the shots when they're there and moving it on when they're not, it just kind of sets the table for us. So it's a great display of patience and then shot making when we really needed them in that late third.
As things start to settle down over here, Coach. As things start to settle down for this team, how much of Draymond Green's leadership has to do with it?
Draymond has everything to do with our team's success. This guy is just so good at the game, the entire game. He just gets it. He sees it at both ends. The way he pushes the ball in transition, his screen setting, he's one of the best screeners in the league. Sees the floor, and then defensively guards everybody, gets our guys organized. Draymond is an incredible basketball player, and he's had a fantastic first quarter of the season.
Steve, going back to training camp, I remember guys, Steph, Klay, Jordan, and Andrew talking about nights when all 4 of them will be on it. And tonight they combined for 92 points, and it looked as if their scoring was able to offset some of the turnovers and other things that happen. When you have all 4 of those guys actually contributing 20 points or more, what does it do for your offense, and what does it do to a defense?
Yeah, well, those are always going to be our main scorers, just the way we play. Draymond and Loon are going to be setting a ton of screens and distributing the ball, and so we need that scoring punch that comes from that group. So they seem to be at their best when everybody is under control and staying patient. I thought Jordan's second half was just so much better than his first. He looked in a rush the first half, and then second half he just was totally under control. Played a great half, and his play late third and early fourth was a big key tonight.
You just mentioned Jordan. That was sort of my question, but what do you think the click for him there in the second half?
I'm sorry.
What did you think clicked for Jordan in the second half?
I think he just settled down. I think he was sped up in the first half, and I thought in the second half he maintained his confidence, but he just slowed down a little bit and let the game happen, and his patience really paid off.
Steve, last year you guys were 26-1 when you had 30 assists. This year you guys are 7-5. Do you still view 30 assists as like an important benchmark for you guys? And what do you chalk up that difference in record to this year?
Well, our defense, last year was number 2 in the league, and this year we're getting better, but we're still near the bottom of the league in defensive efficiency. So the ball movement's great, but it's a two-way game. And, the reason we have won a few games here, the last week, have we won 3 in a row, Raymond?
Lost in New Orleans, so 3 or 4, but it was that. Yeah.
2 in a row.
You're just
We've won 2
deleting
in a row.
them.
We're on a hot streak. But I think the reason we're finding a better rhythm as a team is we're playing better defense, and that's the key. It's always a two-way performance that makes a difference in the record.
They still did score 118 tonight. I mean, are there areas you still need to clean up?
I thought that the offense led to some difficult transition situations for us, and then we fouled a little bit, especially in that fourth quarter. But all in all, again, really pleased with the effort. That's a hard team to guard. They stretch you out. They got all those vets who just are smart, know how to play, and can shoot. So we did a good job tonight.
I asked you before the game about you splitting up some of the Draymond Steph minutes, and you're doing that clearly, and it's working. The one time you got kind of hit was when they both were out in the second quarter there. Can you almost do a stagger with those two guys? Are you tempted to, play them together, but also make sure one of them is always on the court at all times?
I guess it's possible, but we're comfortable playing without both of them for a few minutes. If this were the playoffs, maybe we would do that. But I think right now we're settling into a nice groove, and our guys are all playing really well off the bench. I thought JaMychal and JK were great tonight. JK's defense was excellent. JaMychal's finishing around the rim, the toughness, the grit, fuels our team. So, with those guys, Jordan, Dante playing well, we don't have to have one of them on the floor all the time.
And Kuminga, no shots, no points, but you gave him a couple extra stints tonight. Is it just the defense that you need to see at him? I mean, I imagine he can shoot. He's okay to shoot, but you don't mind to see him the 0 shot, 0 points.
I mean, it's the total game that we're looking at, and his defense was really key tonight, and that should be the number one priority for him. He's so athletic and strong and versatile. If he establishes his defense, the offense will come. The transition buckets, the offensive rebounds, the game will get easier. But he's so young that this is all part of his learning process, and I thought tonight was a really good night for him, and he's just got to keep doing what he's doing. His approach, his attitude, they've been great. I love coaching him. He wants everything to happen now, and it's just not the way it works. I asked Draymond and Steph the other night after our game in New Orleans. I said, when did you really feel comfortable that you could affect winning in the NBA? And Steph said his 4th year. Draymond said his 3rd year. And we're talking about Hall of Famers. And these are guys who went to college for 3-4 years. So I think it's hard for young players to keep hearing, it's going to happen. You need the experience, you need the reps, but there's no getting around it. There's always an exception, a LeBron or someone who comes around and is great immediately, but the vast majority of players in this league need reps, need time, especially if they're going to impact winning, which is what we're asking JK to do, and Wise and Moses, and that's a much bigger ask than most of their colleagues around the league who are drafted near them and who are playing a lot of minutes, but being allowed to make mistakes. So it's not easy on these guys, but they're all doing a great job. Thanks.